And good morning. It's Friday, the 18th of February 2018. And warm welcome along to this morning's United Kingdom talk. I'm quite amused this morning. I was just watching the opening videos. I know some of you don't get there as quick as that. You kind of got to keep an eye out for when we start to see the opening video. But the bit where I'm swinging the children like that, I mean, you could be done for child abuse, couldn't you? Well, what amazes me is that how little ones are are fearless and actually seem to want a little bit of danger in their lives. You know, that swinging I do, which incidentally is a game I invented personally called TikTok. You may have done that with a child yourself, but you grab one arm and one leg like that, and while they're on their side, and you swing them violently from side to side, almost touching the ceiling like that. My sister goes, "Man, oh, be careful, they might hurt themselves." And of course, the children are going, "Higher, higher, Uncle Chris." I love it. Good morning to you. Hope you're well this morning. Had a lovely day yesterday. We went to after I spoke to you yesterday morning. We went swimming. Me and my mate came round. We went swimming. Quite busy in the pool yesterday. They had the water aerobics, which it depends how many people are there. You see, they took up 3/4 of the pool yesterday, so you're left with like a narrow lane. And there was me, but it was okay. It was okay yesterday. Sometimes you can be on your own in that narrow lane, which isn't as easy as it sounds. Because when the water aerobics people are doing their stuff, it's very very wavy in there. You know, seriously, it is like the North Sea. It is like a tornado in the sea. The way the water waves like this, and you know, you're careful like that. I don't put my head under the water. I can't put my face in the water. Never have been able to. But you're going along like this, and you're going, and then suddenly all the water goes up your nose. Don't you hate that? Oh. I mean, you imagine all the secretions that must be in that swimming pool from various parts of people's body. You know, top end or, dare I say, bottom end. Who sometimes have to close the pool. If a child, well, not necessarily a child, if someone is sick in there or has had an accident, they have to close the pool. Do you know they don't change the water? Oh no! They don't empty the pool and fill it up again. No, they put a load of that blue chlorine stuff in. They leave it for 24 hours and then they reopen it. Oh my God! You're swallowing bits of people's phlegm. How disgusting is that? And maybe they got something wrong with their. I might have swallowed a verruca. What if I've swallowed a verruca? Can you get verrucas on the inside of your oesophagus? Look at me being all medical this morning. Medical Chris. Do you want anything looked at this morning? Anything you want? Just make an appointment with the nurse downstairs. We're very quick at the moment. We're only a 4-week waiting list. Only 4-week waiting list this morning to come and see Dr. Chris. What would you like done this morning? Would you trust me to touch your bits? That's the question this morning. Anyway, so we went swimming. And there was me in one side. There was, oh no, actually he didn't go swimming. He was waiting in the reception because he's still got a bad chest at the moment. It's been going on for months, my mate, with his chest infection. Terrible. So I was in the narrow lane, and there was me, and there was a mother who wasn't swimming, lovely lady, and 2 little children. One was about 10, I suppose, and the other was about 3, something like that, I would guess. But I was very careful not to whack the kids, you know, because I suppose being a man, you know, your arms come down quite hard when they go into the water. I was very careful of avoiding the children, which I managed to do. And these children were really good in the pool, the little one. Oh, bless his. It had such a big smiling face on it as it was going along. And now and again it got in my way, but it's not a problem, is it? You know, you just move to the side. There's other people in the pool. Oh, Christ. Honestly, if someone gets in their way, it's like the end of the world to them. I mean, how pathetic are you? You know, you've got to share these things with everyone else. Or go and buy your own swimming pool. Stop moaning about other people all the time. God's sake. And after that, we then jumped in my car, got my car out the garage yesterday, and went up to Patisserie Valerie for an afternoon tea here in Bracknell in Royal Berkshire, because we've got all new shops in Bracknell that opened in September last year. All brand new shops, one of which is a Patisserie Valerie. Now, this is the first time we'd been to an afternoon tea that was not in a hotel, except for the one we went on the boat the other week. just going back to the opening video, that was all filmed on a boat we did about 6 or 7 weeks ago now, and we went on an afternoon tea. And it was while I was on the boat, and I thought, oh, do you know, this will make a nice opening video, instead of the flowers. So that's how that happened. Anyway, we had an afternoon tea on a boat, which was all right. Not up to the class that you would get in like a posh hotel, but still nothing to complain about. Very nice. The Patisserie Valerie one, so we did that. We got in there, sat down. Our table was all ready. 2 members of staff in there. Again, the food was very nice. There wasn't so much of it, I will say that. We only got one lot of sandwiches in this one. Not so much food, but it was enough. Don't get me wrong, you weren't hungry or anything like that. It was the correct amount, We didn't have to ask for more sandwiches, really. We had that, and we thought, well, we see how we go. So we had that. I think I asked for another couple of scones, which I should have paid for, but she didn't charge me. So I gave the two members of staff in the shop a £5 each, as a tip, because they don't get fivers. It looked to me like they don't get tips in there. So to give them a tip is a nice thing. So I gave them a £5 each, and they were very pleased with this. The boys, it was only a young boy working in, he was probably about 18 years old. His little face lit up when he saw a £5 flashed in front of his eyes. And so we sat in there. Now, in there, very different to the hotel one. No complaints. Food perfect, tea nice, and everything. It's like all glass around, and it's like in the high street, if you see what I mean, in Bracknell High Street. I felt like I was in a goldfish bowl. It did feel a little bit odd sitting there and people looking in as they were walking past, and that didn't feel correct. I didn't really like that. I mean, it's all very well, you're sitting there looking out on them, but them looking at you, you kind of didn't want all these people walking past you looking in, but that was all right. It was quite noisy in there as well. Nowhere near as relaxing as sitting in a hotel. So when you go to like the posh hotel, whether it be where have we been recently, Coworth Park or the Grove, or even the Strand Hotel in London, lots of different ones we've been to now, we find them very relaxing. As well as sitting there having your meal, it's you sit there, take in all the atmosphere, have a little bit of a walk round afterwards, look at the grounds, talk to the staff, all very nice. Well, there was none of that in there. We were basically in there for a meal. When the meal was finished, that was it. End of the thing. Only £25, that's for both of us. So £12.50 each, which was okay, I suppose. Yeah. I mean, it's a lot cheaper than the other places, but very different. So there we are. That was our little afternoon tea in Patisserie Valerie. It's all right if you want to go there. Is it on the same scale as the hotel ones? Nowhere near it. Nowhere near it. No complaints, but nothing like the ones in a hotel. So I wouldn't bother with that, to be honest. I wouldn't bother going to a Patisserie Valerie for afternoon tea. The service, there was no... There kind of wasn't the service as well. I mean, there was only 2 members of staff who were serving customers over a counter, coming in for their sandwiches and little cakes and things and takeaway coffees and what have you. And I think she came over once or twice to see if we wanted any more tea, but that was it. There was no time for conversation with members of staff, which of course you do get in every single hotel that we've been in. It was similar on the boat. They served the food, they served the tea, but no time to talk, really. They were on to the next one and so on. So a big difference there. It's all right, for a quick afternoon bite, but it's not really what I would call an English afternoon tea. So I wouldn't bother with the Patisserie Valerie one. Please, nothing wrong with the food, nothing wrong with the staff, nothing wrong with the venue. It's just very different to the hotel one, and we probably won't do that again. But it was all right, it was all right. Okay, so that was our afternoon yesterday. After that, I went and booked a holiday. Yes, I went up to Thomas Cook. Now, I can't tell you where it is, because this is also my nephew's 21st birthday present. My nephew is 21 years old in April. April the 1st is his birthday. He's got this big party that he's arranged at a hotel where he lives up in Lincolnshire. And I wanted to do something special for his birthday. If you're a regular viewer to the show, you'll know that about 3 or 4 years ago now, I took him to Florida and we had the most wonderful time for 2 weeks. We had the most wonderful time in Florida. So he's now 21. He was 17 at the time. Now he's 21 and he's got a girlfriend. And I thought, well, I don't know if he's going to want to come away with me again. So I gave him some options. I gave him the option of having something for his business, because he runs a car repair business now. He's doing body panels and all that business, you know, filling it and sanding and painting it, complete resprays. He does all that business in his garage. So I was going to get him a piece of equipment for that. Send him to one of the hotels that we've had afternoon tea at, the Grove, for 2 nights in real luxury, right? Send him and his girlfriend off on a little holiday somewhere, or come on holiday with me for a week. And I said, oh, you've got 2 weeks to make up your mind. Well, I told him that last week, and he sent me a little message. Actually, it was on here. Yeah, it was on here yesterday. You might have seen. You might have seen. Yes. So he put on there, I've made my decision. So after the show, I gave him a ring, and he's decided to come on holiday with me. So I'm really quite over the moon by that. I didn't expect that as the answer, to be honest, especially as it's the dearest answer out of all the lot of them. But there you go, one of those things. And so that's what we're going to do. And after an afternoon tea, me and my mate, we went up to Thomas Cook's, and I told them what I wanted. And I had already checked out the price of something on the internet, on one of the airline websites. I've got to be very careful now not to tell you where we're going. I can't tell you where we're going because he doesn't know yet. He knows he's going away, but he doesn't know yet. So that will be the surprise for his birthday. Because I like people to have surprises on Christmas Day and birthday. I don't like all this business, oh, give them the present now. No, it's not your birthday. Oh, no, it's not Christmas. You know, you've got to wait till the day. This is how it was when I was a child. It might be different now. Don't mean I'm any different. Okay, so I will let him know when it's his birthday, and then I'll let you know where we're going. But I was in Thomas Cook for 2 hours. 2 hours. And I went in there because I always go in there to the same lady, and I sit down and she discusses it and works it all out. And I'm not very good on the internet sorting out holidays, and it takes a long time to do it. Although I had already sorted out this particular one, I had a look at it. So I had a price. Now, she's looking at the price on her computer in Thomas Cook. She weren't getting anywhere near it. Let me tell you, she said, I can't believe that they're doing it for this price. It was a damn good price. A really, really good price. If I tell you, I can tell you something about it. Simply by changing the leaving days, okay? By changing the leaving days, I have saved almost £6,000. Simply by changing the leaving days. It was the difference between going and not going. So the Monday, I'm not going to tell you how much it was. So, for example, say if on the Monday it was 10 grand, if you went on Monday, right, 10 grand, which I would never spend on an holiday, right? On the Tuesday, it's 5. It's that big a difference. I could not believe it. And the reason I did different dates, because when I first went on there, when I mentioned it to him first, I'd got on the internet, and this holiday was coming out at ridiculous, two figures, not up to no, over £10,000 this holiday was. Over £10,000. Who's got that to spend on a holiday? I couldn't believe it. Well, we can't do that one then. Well, I changed it, and I was going in the gym changing room. I was talking to a bloke in there, and his missus works on BA. And he said, well, where are you going? So I told him I was trying to go here. I said, but I don't think that's going to happen. He said, well, how many dates did you try? And I'm like, well, just the one. He said, oh, no. Put in several different dates and put them close to each other, he said. So if you're going to do like 1st, 2nd and 3rd of October, do that 1st, 2nd, 3rd and see what happens. And I did, and he was quite right. I couldn't believe it. And neither could the lady in the Thomas Cook, because she actually bought up the booking that I mean, I hadn't made the booking, but the same things I'd typed in to this other website, and she said, do you know what, you're right. She said, I can't believe that. And she's now telling all the other staff, Well, we've learnt something today. Change the day. Change the leaving day. Monday, apparently, is the most expensive day you can possibly go on a holiday abroad in the particular seats that we're sitting in on a plane. You know, anyway, that was all done. I was in there 2 hours. 2 hours was in Thomas Cook, and she said, I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to give up until I can at least match the price. So she did match the price that I got on the internet. She said, please book it with me now. She said, I said, well, it makes no difference to me who I book it with, you know, whether I do it on the net, as long as it's the same price. There you go. You have my business. There's the card, you know. Quick as a flash, she grabbed this credit card out and shoved it through her machine. And that was it. I came out of there very happy. So that was my day yesterday. So it's all sorted. I texted my nephew straight away at the dates. And that's it. I won't be able to tell you until after April the 1st where we're going, because that just wouldn't be fair, you know, for you to know and for him not to know. And that's it. All right. So that was my day yesterday. I've got to do something on the internet. So I'm looking around for my passport. And I can't find it anywhere. And it suddenly occurred to me that I've actually sent it up north. Because I had some paperwork. I've got a house up north and the tenant changed. And every time, I don't know why it happens up there, every time a tenant changes, I have to send all this paperwork up there again, including passport or electricity bills or things like that. Every time I have to send it to the damn estate agent. Doesn't happen down there. Doesn't happen down here. Once you've sent it to them once, that's it. They seem to keep it all on record. Not up there. Blooming useless. Well, it hasn't come back. And that was 2 weeks ago, so I need to get on the phone to them immediately after I finished chatting to you this morning and see if they can find it up there. I hope they haven't lost it. I will be disappointed. I would be very disappointed if they've lost it. So I did that yesterday. Had a sleep in the afternoon, got up, just watched some telly really last night. I'm really into Mr. Selfridge at the moment, which is available on Netflix. I didn't know there were 4 series of that. And I absolutely love it. Mr. Selfridge on Netflix. I think I'm up to episode 7 now. I never watch more than 1 or 2 episodes at a time. I know some of you sit there and put the telly on and it's like one episode after another. Now, you miss something when you're doing that. You absolutely miss something when you're doing that. So, you know, just watch a couple of episodes at a time here, there and everywhere. And I think you'll probably get more out of it like that. Okay, so that was my day yesterday. Let's read some of your messages out this morning then. Let's start over on the YouTube. Good morning to Joanna. 4:15 a.m. here in Michigan. I am a breakfast show this morning in the US of A in Michigan. Good morning to you, Joanna, darling. And good morning to Paul in rainy Birmingham. No touchy-feely parties last night in Birmingham, apparently. It was too cold. No one was coming out the door yesterday, was it? There's no boxing here. There's no boxes this morning. We had the box yesterday, apparently. Good morning to Liam. Morning, Liam. Is it the Hilton? No, it's not the Hilton we're going to. We're not going to the Hilton. I have not been for an afternoon tea at any of the Hiltons yet, though. Haven't been to any of those. Good morning to James Clark this morning. First in with the Facebook messages this morning, aren't you, James? Good morning, James. Ray Reynolds is there. Ray Reynolds International. Hi, Ray. Kathy Conquest Forsyth Smith. Good morning to you, Kathy. Good morning, lovely Chris. Morning, Chris. Diane Jebb is there. Ashley. Good morning, Ashley. Hope you're having a nice day. I don't think you were having a good time yesterday. I saw a couple of your Facebook posts on there. Good morning, Ash. Rod Brown's there. What do you mean, Duke? You a man? Yes, man. Morning to the lovely Danny Gibbs. Morning, Danny. He's up in Grimsby where they do the fish. Shania's there. Good morning, Shania. She's off to church. On a Friday. It's not a holy day today, is it? I'm sure it's not. No, that was Wednesday, the holy day, when we went to Ash Wednesday. Dust to dust and to dust thou shalt return, or something like that. I can't remember the exact expression used as that dust is placed on my head. Did we ever tip Mrs. Melted? No, we certainly didn't. Danny and I used to go to a lovely little club in Waterloo very late at night. And when we came out of there, all nice and clean and smelling nice, when we come out of the club, we used to go round to this little sandwich shop round the corner, run by a dear old lady. We don't know what her name was, but you'd go in there, good morning, boys. She'd like that. She was Italian. And she said, what would you like today? And I said, well, I love, of course. I was eating dead animals at the time. I was eating a dead animal at the time. So I used to ask for a sausage sandwich with cheese. And she used to say, would you like it melted? Yes, please. Melted cheese. on sausage rolls, and they were dirt cheap as well. Actually, I think they were like about £3 for 2 of them. Very nice, and we'd eat those on the way home in the car, wouldn't we, Danny? I think you were living here at the time as well, weren't you? Good morning to Christina Ewing. Morning, Christina. Lovely and sunny in Portsmouth, as indeed it is here this morning. It's beautiful out there. I don't know how cold it is, but I shall be walking up to the swimming pool after we've had our chat. But I must ring the estate agent up north first. UK renewal of passport fees are going up very soon, are they really? Well, I think mine's got about 8 years left, 7 or 8 years on it, so that'll be all right. Unless, of course, it's got lost in the post. Oh, I wouldn't like that. I really wouldn't like that. Good morning to Abdul, who asks, first of all, I would like to say, how are you? Very well, thank you, Abdul. I want to ask this. What is the value of nurses in your country, and especially boys? You mean boys as nurses? The value of the nurses in this country, they are esteemed to be very respected people. Anyone who's a nurse. Money-wise, they get very little wages. If you're coming over here to make money as a nurse on the NHS, then no, I'm afraid not. It's more of a want-to-do job. I can't remember what it's called now, what that word is. It's more of a wanting to help people job. They are not paid well, the nurses in this country. They really aren't, unless you go private, in a private hospital. But to get into the private hospital, you would have had to be trained first. I don't think they train you in private hospitals. I could be wrong. I'm not a nurse myself, but they are highly esteemed people, nurses, and should be respected by everyone for the job they do. Do they get much money? No. Don't think you're going to get rich on making on being a nurse. I don't know the salary. I just know it's very low, Abdul. All right. We do have male nurses. The female nurses outnumber the male nurses by quite a lot. It's just one of those things. It seems that ladies are probably better carers than men. That's just how it is, in life. All right. Vocation. Thank you, Rod. It's more of a vocation being a nurse here in the UK. All right. So I hope that can help you there. How did the Valentine card at the pool go? Well, we went swimming yesterday, of course. I didn't see it. On the board. So presumably someone's taken it off. Whether he's got it or not, I don't know. All right? Because what happened yesterday, it was Tuesday. My mate took one of the boys behind the check-in counter at the gym a Valentine's card. And obviously you don't give it to someone. You put it somewhere, don't you? And he pinned it up on the note. Oh, I've dropped my pen now. Not me, it was him. He pinned it up on the notice board. Am I clashing? Is this all right today? Does that work? I'm not sure that works this morning, that jacket and that particular jumper. There's a phone line open if you want to call in, boys and girls, this morning. 0208 144 3477. Feel free to call in at any point, or don't. That's okay as well. If you don't want to call in, I'm fine with that as well, okay? If you just want to sit there and watch. Now, beware. Here's some news stories for you today. In this morning's Super Soaraway Daily Mail, the rats are coming. Oh, you're probably going out with one yourself, are you? The rats are coming. Look at this. British households could be set for an invasion of super rats that are resistant to poison thanks to a genetic mutation, dubbed L120Q. Beware, super rats. I think I've worked for a few of those, dear. The mutation means toxins used to kill the rodents are ineffective and could potentially lead to rats plaguing homes across the UK, with some scientists even facing a population spike thanks to their immunity to poison. Isn't that funny? So you put the poison down, which would kill you and me. It would kill me, but it's not killing the rats. They have adapted. Dear. Adapted. The potentially explosive discovery was made by experts at the University of Reading, just down the road from me, who identified the massive extent of L120Q resistance across the whole of central southern England. This is very worrying. I've never seen a rat around here. Never. No, I have seen them. I've literally seen them running across the road in London. I have. Data for the rest of the UK was not available, There are now genuine fears the deadly gene could spread rat populations across the UK. Be very worried, gang. But they don't attack you, do they? Wasn't there a book called The Rats? There's a book called The Rats, wasn't there? I think they used to attack people. I don't think rats attack people, do they? I was working somewhere some years ago, and there was the most awful smell in this place. It had a basement area, not for beer, but for people to go down. So you'd have the upstairs bar, and then you go downstairs. And there was this most dreadful smell down there. Oh, it was awful, awful. And this went on for months and months and months. They used to serve food. I don't know how anyone could have sat down there and eaten a meal, but they did. Eventually, they got some rat people in, and they looked at it. They couldn't find it anywhere until something went wrong with the ceiling. So they had to pull down a bit of the ceiling, and all these dead rats dropped out. Massive, great rats. And they found they were coming in through a hole at the top. So you got the ceiling and then the wall where it meets the ground upstairs. They were coming in through this hole, falling through, and they couldn't get back out again. And they were literally dying in the ceiling. Oh, it stunk. And I shall never forget that smell. If I was to get that smell again, I would know there was a dead rat somewhere. Awful. Anyway, the story goes on. The news comes just a few months after one pest company from Dorset warned of a potential 200 million strong swathe of rats infesting British homes. Oh, my word. Beware, beware of the rats, my friends. How awful. There's only one way to deal with those, isn't there? You've got to beat them. You've got to beat the rats. Where are you? Come back here. Come back here. You've got to... No, that's wrong. You've got to beat the rats. Beat them, dear. With sticks. You must go out and purchase yourself a rat-beating stick. And beat them down. Where are you? Do you have rats where you are? Good morning, Andy Baker. Welcome to the show. Good morning to Junaid, who's in Pakistan. Do you have rats in Pakistan? Do you get many rats there? They've got them in London. It's awful. Awful. Just dreadful. Junaid says, I've done my graduation in botany, zoology and chemistry. Well, maybe you can stop the rats attacking us here in London. They're everywhere, dear. Very, very frightening. So that's the rat story there. Congratulations to Ray Reynolds' team for winning the quiz on Wednesday night. You may know I host a quiz night every Wednesday. There it is. At the King's Head Theatre Bar. We had a good time Wednesday. There were 5 teams altogether on Wednesday, and we all had a little bit of a laugh while we were doing that. Well done, Ray Reynolds' team. 53 points out of 70. That's not bad, is it? 53 points out of 70. I think the next one below that was 32.5. So they did really well on Wednesday. Congratulations, Ray Reynolds and the team. It's about time you came along to the quiz, Chris. I did send you a little message. I was busy doing my quiz on Wednesday. Why aren't you there doing the quiz, Chris? Awful, awful. I'm sure you're very, very intelligent. Perhaps, I don't know. And get well soon to my niece Tracy, who's terribly ill at the moment, unfortunately. She's got the worst flu ever, and she's gone to work. I was always the same. When you're self-employed, you've got to go to work. Otherwise, the pennies don't come in, and you sit here starving, dear. Starving. Where am I going to get food next? Oh, come on, Chris. You're not Billy No Mates. You're not Billy No Mates. I am your closest friend. I am probably your closest friend, Chris. Ring any time, dear. Any time, day or night, as long as it's not 2 o'clock in the morning when my little eyes are closed. Because I'm a little bit older than you, Chris. I need more sleep. I need more sleep. I don't want to start looking old and haggard like most of your mates, darling. I need to look young and gorgeous. Quite a hard job doing that. Now, look at this. Where are we now? Now, this is an interesting idea. This is an interesting idea. On the BBC News site this morning, the government should give £10,000 to every citizen under 55, a report suggests. Well, I've just missed that then, haven't I? Oh, why is it they give all this money away to young people, dear? Everyone over 55, we can't get it. We've missed this one by just a few weeks. God's sake. The Royal Society, I mean, can you imagine this at the, you know, on your letter heading? The Royal Society, I've heard this all now. The Royal Society for the Encouragement of Arts, Manufacturers and Commerce. God's sake. Who comes up with these titles? Said it could pave the way to everyone getting a basic state wage. Now, I think this is a pretty good idea. The whole basic state. Well, this is going to happen, I think. Because robots are taking over. Oh, yes. Yes, they're trying to replace me by a robot in here. You imagine that? Some little thing. Hello and welcome to the show. Welcome to United Kingdom Talk. I am Robot Chris. I am here to tell you today and to talk to you. I bet you wouldn't watch. You wouldn't watch, would you? Because there'd be no mistakes. Robots don't make mistakes. It would be boring and bland. Boring and bland. A little bit like, nothing wrong with the food at McDonald's, but a little bit like walking to the McDonald's for every single meal. You'd be soon bored, wouldn't you? You'd be soon bored. You like things to go wrong. Yeah, you come on, admit it. You'd love me to have a heart attack this morning on the show, wouldn't you? You would kill yourselves with laughter, wouldn't you? I know you would, because you're awful and dreadful and ghastly. That's why. We go on. The idea sees two payments of £5,000 paid over 2 years, but certain state benefits and tax reliefs would be removed at the same time. Now, I have a theory of this. If everyone was getting a basic state salary, so it didn't matter whether you're working or not, okay, everyone in the country gets £10,000 a year, okay? If you want to work and boost that, that's fine. You still get the £10,000. Or if you don't want to work, that's fine. You get the £10,000. Everyone gets £10,000. At a stroke, they would cut out any problems they've got with dodgy people claiming this, claiming that, which they shouldn't be claiming. You know, people claiming, I don't know if it would be the same for the disability people. Probably not, because they need more money, don't they, for stuff, equipment, wheelchairs, breathing machines, this, that and the other. I'm not quite sure how that would work. But there are plenty of people claiming for this, that and the other. Well, there wouldn't be any of that. Not disabled people, there's a different thing altogether. Claiming this, that and the other. Oh, I've got that, child thing here and this here and claiming this here. Well, that would all be got rid of. They wouldn't have to then spend money trying to catch people who shouldn't be getting that sort of stuff. Everyone would get the £10,000. I quite like the idea. The money, although I've missed out. Over 55 now, Chris. Did you know that? Over 55. God's sake. The RSA said it was compensate workers for the way jobs are changing. With robots, you see. The money would help the UK steer citizens through the 2020s as automation replaces many jobs, climate change hits, and more people face balancing employment with social care. Now, what do you think about this? Is it a good idea for everyone to get a basic state pension, say 10 grand? I know, it don't sound a lot, no. But, there would be a limit to what they can pay out. They probably couldn't afford to give everyone £50,000 a year. Besides, what are you going to spend £1,000 a week on? Come on. I think Chris could do probably on drink, Chris. Wouldn't you, my love? The money payments would come from a British sovereign wealth fund in the form of 2 annual £5,000 dividends, the RSA proposes. The payments would not be means tested, you see. So you haven't got to employ all these people to... Oh, okay. Oh, hello, Mr. Reardon. Thanks for coming in. So how old are you? Okay, any illnesses? Okay, could you walk in a straight line, please? No, wouldn't be any of that. You just get the money. No testing. You haven't got to employ all these people for testing. And you know what government officials are, or people, or private companies working for the government. They will say anything to get their commission. All gone. All gone. The payments would not be means tested. Anthony Painter, director of RSA's Action and Research Centre, said, the simple fact is that too many households are highly vulnerable to a shock in a decade of disruption and storm clouds on the horizon. If automation, Brexit and an ageing population are mismanaged. Without a real change in our thinking, neither tweaks to the welfare state nor getting people into work alone, where the link between hard work and fair pay has broken, will help working people meet the challenges ahead. Well, of course, the link between hard work and fair pay was broken years ago. when you see some of these, generally youngsters, but there are others as well, generally youngsters working in pubs or in certain shops or certain large companies, if you believe the papers, Amazon's one of them, who are working their little arms, fingers to the bone. They're working their fingers to the bone and getting very, very small amounts of wages. And it's so wrong, isn't it? But you know, I used to speak to the people at the top sometimes. Why should I give them any more money would be their answer. You know, they're raking it in, some of these managers of various companies. Why should I give them any more? And that's the general attitude of them, you see. No, they're only worth £7 an hour. So a young person, you know, working, who starts work as soon as he or she gets in, doesn't stop until they leave, probably lucky to get a 15-minute lunch break or something ridiculous like that, and you're paying them £7 an hour. You should be ashamed of yourself. And that's it. There doesn't seem to be people that are ashamed to do. They're not ashamed to do this. Where did they go to think it's quite acceptable to pay someone the lowest possible wage so they can get fatter and fatter and viler by the day off someone else's back? So thinking of it that way, perhaps if you weren't sure about that, yeah, £10,000 a year for doing nothing. There are those that would want to better themselves. I'm sure you're probably one of them. So you can go out and get a job, if you can find one, and boost up that money. Or you can just sit at home and take the £10,000 and do what you like. I couldn't do that. You know, I really couldn't. That's why I'm sitting here talking to you now, I suppose. One reason I can't do nothing. I'm not wired to sit around and do nothing all day and all night. Can't do it. Can't do it. There's never enough hours in a day for me. Let's have a look here. Junaid said, speak slowly so I could understand more clearly. I'm afraid not, my friend, because everyone else is keeping up. You will eventually be able to keep up if you just keep at your English lessons. All right, my love. Duke says, I would certainly try taking that 10 grand. Yeah, his salary is crap. I won't say what he does or where he works. We do not identify people like that. Identification. We're not identifying people like that. But yes, he's fairly young. Well, he thinks he's young. I think he's over 30 now, which makes you old, lovey. I think you're old. Are you old now, Chris? Christina says they've tried the lump sum in benefit payments, but it has mixed reviews. Yeah, benefits payment and the wage for everyone. I think that's a different thing, Chris. That would be a different thing. One of the problems with what the housing benefit payments, I think it was Cameron's government did it, was those people that were getting housing benefits then started to get the benefits paid directly to them rather than to the landlord. Of course, you know what happened. You know, the people started keeping the money for themselves and the landlord weren't getting paid the rent. Now, you have a job finding a landlord to take on social tenants. Now, I wouldn't. How do I know the rent's going to come to me? I have mortgages to pay. That's it. The money goes round. It don't all come straight and go into my pocket. Certainly not. And some idiot, was it Ian Duncan Smith? I think it was him, actually. Some idiot came up with a wonderful idea of paying housing benefit directly to the tenants, and the tenants then have to pay the landlord. Well, that started happening, and guess what? Loads of people started not paying their landlords. Some of the landlords got into trouble, had to sell up. Now, landlords, such as myself, won't take social tenants because of that. If I knew, like the rent was coming straight into my account, direct from the council, the government, whoever pays it, I don't know, because I don't have any. Then I'd probably think, yeah, okay, we'll do that then, no problem. But the fact is, it has to go through a tenant first, and then there's loads of people who don't. You've only got to look on the internet and some of the news stories. They don't pay their blooming rent. They hold on to the money. Madness. And don't think every landlord is absolutely minted and the money's rolling in. I'm all right because I'm 55 and I've saved up for years and years and years. I certainly don't make much off rent at all. If you're a landlord, you're waiting really for the value of the house to increase. That's where the money is, the actual property, not the rent coming in. That's not where the money is. It's in the actual property. So you buy a property and hope that it will go up. And it does. Over a long period of time, it does. Don't think you're going to buy a house this year. Say you win, I don't know, you win some money or something like that, or you get a bit of a payout from somewhere, and you could afford to perhaps buy a house. Don't think you can buy a house today and next year it will be worth double the value. Might be that case in 10 years' time, but not tomorrow. And I think a lot of people make that mistake as well. Are you only 27, Chris? Oh, you look so much older, dear. Have you tried some of that oil of you, Leigh? I didn't try a little bit of that on your face, love. Do you think? Oh, dear. Juan says, Great Dane, it's the Great Wizard of Oz. We're off to the Wizard of Oz. Oh, dear. Christina, correct. Equal pay for equal work, regardless of age, gender, or nationality. Yes, I go along with that, Chris. Although I will say, when you're first in at a job, say someone's been there 10 years and you're straight in, you can't expect to be on the same wages as someone who's done a long time there. It gradually goes up, it gradually goes up and gets to that level. But it fills me with despair to see how people go into a job. As I say, generally young people, but it can be people of all ages. And they are on such dismal wages in comparison to the person who's been brought in to manage the place. Now, I have a little bit more of a different thought to someone who has built the company from scratch. So say I bought a company or made a company. I made a company that makes, I don't know, ice cream. And suddenly, millions of people started buying my ice cream. Now, I'd invented this ice cream. I'd mixed it in a little bowl in the kitchen, okay? And I started making them. And then more people started buying it, so I started employing people to make it. And then suddenly it went mad. And the whole world was buying my ice cream because of something I had done. Now, you could not expect me to be on the same wages as someone I employed to make the ice cream that I'd invented. Okay? So I was the inventor of the ice cream, and I've done all this, and I've now employed all these people. You would expect me to be on a lot more than someone working for me at the bottom, yeah? What I really dispute is someone who comes in to run a train franchise, who has not built that from the bottom. Okay, maybe they're a little bit clever at school, but how they can be on so many more hundreds of thousands of pounds more than the bloke who sweeps the platforms, now that's wrong. You haven't done any much to get to that position. You've just had a bit of luck. And I really object to that. People who run banks. How is it that you can pay someone £4 million a year to sign a few bits of paper? That is wrong. So there is a big difference there. Thinking of a name, yes, Sir Alan Sugar. Okay? Mr. Virgin, Richard Branson. I have no problem with the amount of money that they are paid. They have built their companies themselves up from nothing. I have no problem. You pay yourselves as much as you want. It's your company. You have made that. But for someone to come in to another company from some sort of university or something like that, no, that's where it's all gone wrong for me. Okay. Good morning to Mary Jane Lockhard, who joins us this morning. Good morning, Mary Jane. All right. Okay, well, we'll do today's birthdays and then we're out of it. It's karaoke tonight, by the way. Join us for karaoke Central Station tonight at Wharfdale Road, King's Cross. Let's do today's birthdays. I don't know whose birthday. Look who it is. The delightful Angela Washington. Happy birthday, Angela. One of our Manilow ladies Looks like we made it. I met Angela a few years ago in Orlando when I went to see Barry Manilow in Orlando in Florida. So happy birthday to you, Angela. You wonderful, wonderful person. I have a little connection with you. I do feel I have a connection with you, Angela. Happy birthday, Angela. Happy birthday today to Luke Taylor, who I think is the other half of... I was going to say Voulevent then. Oh, God. Chris... Lavoie, boyfriend of Lavoie, Luke, or at least you were. I hope you still are. I'm not jumping no because I haven't followed you for a little while. Happy birthday to Luke Taylor. Say hello to Chris for me, assuming you're with him. I'm sure you're still with him. Happy birthday to Luke. How old are you today, dear? You must be at least 40 now, Luke. Is that about right, lovey? Happy birthday, Luke. I think he's away somewhere. Happy birthday today to Leigh Last, a young 24 years old today, aren't you, Leigh? Happy birthday, Leigh. Glen... it's young Glen. Glen Plaister, who I DJ'd with for a couple of times at a place in the East End. And he was a Black Cap customer for many, many years. And I haven't seen you for some time. And I even bumped into you in that lovely place called Sailors in the East End some years ago, didn't I? When you'd got something on your foot. Do you remember that, lovey? Happy birthday to you, Glen. Jacinta is 32 years old today, looking very beautiful in your picture, Jacinta. Happy birthday to you. Robbie. We miss Robbie. Robbie's anniversary. Yeah, Robbie's birthday today. He passed away some years ago. He used to live quite close to me. And Vivek Joseph is 25 years old today. So happy birthday to you all. Let us sing the song. Was that a bit loud? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Angela, Luke, Leigh, Glen, Jacinta, and Vivek. Jacinta, happy birthday to you. Just about got that in there. Just enough names to manage to get you all in there this morning. Good morning to Mark Cording. Bit late today, Mark. Are you along for the karaoke tonight, Mark? I do hope so. It is the longest time you've stayed with me, Duke. It is. But I have a feeling, maybe we'll be together much longer at some point, Chris. I do feel that coming. So today is karaoke, boys and girls. Tonight, Friday night karaoke. Join us at Central Station in Wharfdale Road, King's Cross. Starts at 8:30 and goes right the way through until midnight. You can come and sing, or you can come and just watch and join in the fun and sit at one of our brand new tables and chairs. All brand new tables and chairs. Even the floor has been cleaned. It's beautiful in there. And we've got wonderful staff who are nice and friendly. You will like it. Central Station tonight and every Friday, starting at 8:30. And finishing at midnight this evening, okay? Have a lovely Friday. I shall get straight on now and see if I can find out what's happened to my passport. And I'll speak to you again very soon. Bye-bye now.